LeBron Senior, when they were born, was this a vision you had?
I'm not LeBron James. I'm not going to tell my kids what they have to do. I just want them to
At the NBA All-Star Weekend, Ron Harper pulled off one of the coldest moments of the entire event. He arrived to support his two sons as they took part in the festivities, posed for photos, and looked every bit the proud father. Then, without any dramatic build-up or warning, he casually delivered a sharp comment aimed straight at LeBron James. It wasn't loud or drawn out, just one perfectly timed sentence that landed like a headline. What made it even more unforgettable was his reaction afterward. No smirk, no hesitation, not even a blink. He said it, let it sit in the air, and moved on as if nothing had happened, leaving everyone else to process the shock.
I'm not LeBron James. I'm not going to tell my kids what they have to do. I just want them to play and enjoy the game and whatever. They can get back out the ball game. We will take it. Once upon a time, I told them whatever opportunity that you have, you should have a chance to play in the NBA.
Was Ron Harper out of line, or did he simply say what others were too careful to admit? That's the question hanging in the air after the 2026 NBA All-Star Weekend wrapped up. The event delivered everything fans expect: high-flying dunks, deep three-point bombs, and the All-Star Game showdown itself. Yet somehow, none of those highlights became the biggest talking point. Instead, the moment everyone keeps replaying features a 55-year-old former NBA champion standing calmly at a podium and, without raising his voice or changing his expression, coolly taking apart LeBron James with surgical precision. No shouting, no theatrics, just a smooth, effortless remark that hit harder than any dunk that night. But before diving into what was said and why it matters, it's important to understand who Ron Harper really is. Younger fans or casual viewers might not immediately recognize the name, and that would be unfortunate. His career resume isn't just impressive, it's stacked with accomplishments that demand respect, making his words carry far more weight than some might initially realize.
Stoudemire at the free throw line, gives it back to Anderson. Ronnie Harper just left behind you. And Ronnie Harper takes it away again. Oh, nice move, Harp. Stoudemire. Shake fake, kicks it out. Stoudy with a steal. Looks down the floor. Ronnie Harper inside. Yeah.
For 15 seasons in the National Basketball Association, Ron Harper never once heard his name called as an all-star. No mid-season spotlight, no individual glory. While others collected headlines and highlight reels, he quietly handled his role without the extra shine. Yet when his career finally came to a close, the resume told a different story: 5 straight NBA championships. 5. That's not luck. That's legacy. Harper became the starting point guard during the second three-peat run of the Chicago Bulls from 1996 through 1998, guiding the offense and locking in defensively as the team cemented its dynasty. He may not have owned the spotlight, but he helped build the banner-filled ceiling that defined an era.
Chicago looks to take the lead in a very low-scoring first quarter. It's Harper on the run. Harper, a great scorer early in his career with the Cavaliers and the Clippers. That's his first point tonight.
When people talk about the dynasty coached by Phil Jackson and led by Michael Jordan, they're talking about the iconic Chicago Bulls run that defined an era, the same championship story later captured in Netflix's The Last Dance. And through all 3 of those titles, Ron Harper wasn't watching from the bench, he was in the starting 5. After stepping away during the 1999 season, Harper returned and immediately slotted back into contention, this time reuniting with Jackson on the Los Angeles Lakers. There, alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, he helped capture back-to-back championships in 2000 and 2001. 5 rings, not a single All-Star appearance. That resume forces a debate. Was this the most overlooked career the league has ever seen, or the ultimate example of a player mastering his role to perfection? Maybe it's both. And make no mistake, Harper had star-level ability earlier in his career, posting multiple seasons averaging over 20 points per game. He could score, defend, and take over when needed. But as he entered the latter half of his journey, he chose something bigger than box scores. He chose championships. Surrounded by some of the greatest talents the game has ever produced, his personal numbers naturally dipped, yet the trophy case kept expanding. Most players would accept that trade without hesitation. Now, fast forward to 2026, and Harper's name is trending once again. Today, Ron Harper is back in the spotlight, but not for anything he did on the hardwood. Instead, it's his sons carrying the torch, and the Harper family story is genuinely captivating. His older son, Ron Harper Jr., currently plays for the Boston Celtics. He's a bit of a journeyman so far, already suiting up for his 3rd team in just 4 seasons. But he's making it work, hitting clutch shots, building confidence, and proving there's plenty of value in being a dependable role player. Not every player becomes a superstar, and role players are the backbone of every successful team. Then there's the younger Harper, 19-year-old Dylan Harper. He isn't just a contributor, he's a game changer, a real headache for opponents, and a rising star who could redefine what it means to carry the Harper name in the league. The San Antonio Spurs grabbed Dylan Harper with the second overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft, and through the first half of his rookie season, he's already averaging 11 points per game at just 19 years old.
That's not just promising, it's a statement rookie season, the kind that hints his potential ceiling could be sky-high. He went second overall only to Cooper Flagg, the consensus #1 pick, but Harper is quickly proving he belongs among the elite young talent in the league. And don't overlook the Spurs themselves, they're quietly climbing the Western Conference ladder with the third-best record in the NBA, just 2 games back of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've already beaten the Thunder 3 times this season, and with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander still managing an oblique injury, the Spurs are fully healthy, fully locked in, and looking like a serious threat as the playoffs approach. The team's rapid rebuild is turning heads, and Dylan Harper is one of the main reasons everyone is paying attention. The entire Harper family, Ron Harper 1964-inch, Ron Harper Jr., and Dylan Harper, came together at All-Star Weekend for the Shooting Stars competition, a lighthearted, charity-focused event meant to celebrate nostalgia and have fun. And fun it was right up until the post-event media session, when things got downright hilarious. Dylan, in particular, didn't hold back, teasing his father about his layup during the contest. Apparently, Ron Harper Sr. had set a very specific standard for that portion, which, according to his sons, wasn't exactly lofty. On camera, the kids poked fun at him while Ron Sr. nodded along, taking it all in stride. After all, 5 NBA championships will toughen you up for a little family ribbing. But then the tone shifted. A reporter asked a simple, sincere question: when his sons were born, did he imagine they'd become NBA players following in his footsteps? Ron Harper paused for a beat, then dropped a statement so bold it felt like a mic drop moment, bluntly distancing himself from comparisons to LeBron James. "I'm not LeBron James." Ron Harper didn't hesitate or overthink it, he just said it plainly: "I'm not going to tell my kids what they have to do. I just wanted my kids to play." No drama, no pause for effect, no grand build-up, just a statement that felt obvious coming from him. Because to Ron Harper, it is obvious. He lets his kids chart their own paths, free from any pressure to script their futures or mold them into an extension of his own legacy. And Dylan's reaction said it all, a grin that needed no words, a clear acknowledgement of exactly what his father was referring to. The entire room understood immediately. This is a stark contrast to LeBron James and his approach with Bronny James. LeBron has never hidden his ambitions to see Bronny follow in his footsteps, even playing alongside him in the NBA. He broadcasted that vision loudly and publicly, and when the opportunity arose, he influenced the outcome. Bronny, rated roughly the 100th prospect in his class, went 55th overall to the Los Angeles Lakers, the very team where LeBron had significant sway. That's not speculation, it's a clear illustration of the contrast between a parent who lets their children play freely and one who actively engineers the path. Looking at the numbers, Bronny James has appeared in 56 games over 2 NBA seasons, averaging just 2.2 points per contest on 35% shooting. That's not a temporary slump, it's a consistent picture over a meaningful sample size. To be fair, Bronny's situation is complicated. He wasn't drafted purely on merit or fit for team success. He was placed on the Los Angeles Lakers largely because of his father, LeBron James. That creates enormous pressure for any young player, especially one already under scrutiny about whether he truly belongs in the league. Bronny didn't ask for these circumstances, yet the father-son story is celebrated loudly by LeBron himself, who has consistently described playing alongside his son as a pinnacle moment of his career, a milestone he ranks among his greatest personal accomplishments in basketball. LeBron James has achieved practically everything in basketball: 4 NBA championships, 4 MVPs, 2 Olympic gold medals, but he calls the highlight of his career sharing the court with his son Bronny James, a player averaging just 2.2 points per game on 35% shooting. It's a striking statement, and there's no doubt his love for his son is genuine. But when you compare the situation to Ron Harper, the contrast couldn't be sharper. LeBron leveraged his influence to place Bronny in the NBA and has celebrated it as a monumental achievement. Harper, on the other hand, raised 2 sons: Ron Harper Jr., a solid role player, and Dylan Harper, a potential franchise talent who both earned their way in independently. When asked about it, Harper simply shrugged and said he let them play, letting their talent and passion guide their own paths, without scripting the outcome or using external leverage. At the heart of this entire situation is the clear contrast in mindset and public presence between LeBron James and Ron Harper. LeBron has spent over 2 decades embracing the spotlight, building a global brand around greatness, legacy, and being the GOAT. So when he responds to a simple question about his future by saying he just wants to live,
It feels inconsistent with the image he has carefully crafted. On the other hand, Harper's approach is quiet, grounded, and self-assured. He doesn't chase headlines or control narratives. He simply lets his resume and his son's independent journeys speak for themselves. The main point is not about talent or championships, it's about presence. One thrives in attention but resists it when the questions get uncomfortable, while the other avoids the spotlight entirely and commands respect without ever asking for it.
Sometimes, the loudest statement is made by saying the least.
If you enjoyed this breakdown on LeBron James versus Ron Harper, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the real stories behind the headlines. And don't go anywhere, tap the next video on your screen right now because the conversation is just getting started.